This program includes a presentation from the Pennsylvania State Police on Roblox safety and online predators. The discussion includes sensitive topics such as grooming, sextortion, exploitation, and unsafe online interactions involving children. This content is provided for educational and public safety purposes and may not be suitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, I think we're a good evening. I don't know. I always mess it up. My wife yells at me. I said, I really don't. I still, for 31 years, I don't know when afternoon ends and evening starts. So 6:01, I think that's evening. I'll take it. And then I'll still be wrong somehow when I go home tonight. So I said good evening. I said it's afternoon. But yeah, welcome to our program. Before we begin, I gotta just say thanks for a couple people. I do want to thank the Balling family for the use of the space in conjunction with the Hilton Hotel and their staff have been phenomenal. I do want to give a shout out to Sergeant Grote out of PSP Uniontown. So a couple weeks ago we presented this program to some of our guys. And when you do training for our guys, it got to be quick and rushed and you know, it's 15 minutes of their time, they're never getting back. But even a program like this really struck even our own guys. And to the point where he reached out and said, hey, we got to do this and we got to keep rolling with it. So thanks to all those people as we continue the push of the wheel of this program. Last night I was in Erie. That was a fun drive. It wasn't. But we had a great program last night in Erie. I got 4 more next week, so we're running. And I got to keep running. And the only way to do that is with your help. And we'll talk about that at the end. But this is our program. Roblox, Safety, and Online Predators. And for those that are watching maybe at a later date, it is May 27th, 2026. So if you see anything after this video, do note that anything we show today could be subject to change. That's only for the people that aren't here today. So for you guys, because that's what I'm more focused on, we have to throw out a disclaimer of a couple rules. Rule number 1, I cannot give you any personal advice of what you need to do. Not allowed. So, should I take the iPad away? Should I delete the game? Should my kid play more of the game? I cannot answer any of those questions tonight. Per Harrisburg. Not allowed to do that. And then people have emailed me a couple weeks after and say, what should I do? No, I can't. I cannot answer those emails. So do note that. Secondly, everything you see in here is public information. So they're sourced photos, images, statistical information. It's all sourced. So nothing that I'm showing you is my opinion. It's all everything you can Google right now today. Third, this program is for mature audiences. So last night here we had a couple kids that came just because Roblox is so tempting to them. So we do have the preference. What we go over does not change of who's in the room. So if anyone wants to leave now, kid or adult, this is your chance. What we go over is very mature information that is intended for adults. Once, twice. Great. We haven't lost anyone yet, which is interesting. So what you're going to see here is 4 years of highly skilled PowerPoint courses at my university, which I showcased as my rings. Woo, check that out. That took me 3 hours. And Harrisburg wanted to get rid of it. I said, you're not touching my rings. All right? I get a little fancy on PowerPoint. So what we're going to showcase for you tonight is Roblox. It's in the title of the program. But what I want and what I see sometimes, this and other programs I go to, they start on page 20. There might be people in this room tonight that have no idea what Roblox is. Or you might have kids that are addicted to this platform. Regardless, we will start from the bare bones beginning. So that way everyone gets on the same page. From there, we're going to go over parental controls. Yes, Roblox has parental controls. You should be setting those things up, and we're going to talk about how to do that. After those 2 chapters of our program tonight, it does the complete head turn. We will show you everything you can do correctly, and that your kid will still have access to, and how the predators go on the attack. And we will make sure that's very highlighted today. Second to last, we go after the predators because they're going after our kids. We no longer have to play defense. We have to match their offense with our offense. Parents have to be the know. We have their playbook. Took me 2 years to figure this all out. I was the weird guy studying Roblox for 2 years. Everyone's like, what are you doing? And no one believed me until last year things started coming in full circle. And now this is the only public program in the country, by the way, that what we showcase. There's nothing else out there that is like this. Which means I have a lot of help. A lot. I have a bunch of great buddies. And we showcase their information at the end. So who are some of our partners? This is a very small selection. But some of our partners include, well, us. The FBI is a great help. And then you see these 4 states down below. This is Florida, Kentucky, Texas, and Louisiana. We will showcase to you their 4 state class action lawsuits that either came through the governor's office or their AG's office, per the states. They all filed last year. And we'll showcase that to you and what they're doing and how Roblox responded. But I did talk to a lot of other states. Last week I was on the phone with the state of Indiana because they just filed. I maybe have a Teams meeting next week with Connecticut because that just popped on the news. So if I see anything, I'm updating this. I just updated this an hour before I came here. So this always has to be cat and mouse. And you see a bunch of online buddies. They're not on the slide, but they help me out tremendously. So from there, we go over our program, Roblox. So I do a lot of cold call testings for all my programs. So I've been sitting down with parents and groups and partners for 2 years. And by the way, take notes, take photos of this as much as you want, because I cannot share this when I'm done. Okay? And I cold call and test everything. And so I always ask parents, and I'll ask you guys, because you guys are another group of this, who in here has family members that play this platform? Okay, good bet. I've never seen a platform do what Roblox does. The amount of addiction and popularity that the kids have for this platform is unmatched, and we'll showcase that. But what we see and what we saw for 2 years of research is the generational gap. Where parents would come up to me and say, yeah, my son plays Roblox. My daughter plays Roblox. Those sentences are incorrect. Your child is not playing Roblox. They are playing on Roblox. Most parents would associate this platform with a game similar like to Minecraft. That's one game. Yeah, you can play online, but it's one thing. What we show here tonight is that your kid has millions and millions of choices and portals to hop into at any second. This isn't just one thing where they go and play one game. And we'll showcase that to you tonight. So, some of the numbers. Roblox last year had an average number of active users per day at $151 million.
$1 million?
Sorry, 150 million active users. I did a scam call program this morning. 151 million users a day. If you're going to fish, why would you fish in the small pond? This is where we're going to go as a predator, right? And it's available almost everywhere. So when we talk to parents, they say, yeah, usually I play on my phone or my iPad or the tablet. That's easy. This is a resource to the parent to have a break. You want 10 minutes apiece. The house is going crazy. Here's the iPad. Go play these silly cartoon games, and mom needs a break. That's the solution to you as a parent. And why else do parents like it? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Until about 2 weeks go by, and your kid's asking you for Robux. They go, what on earth are Robux? Next thing you know, you're going to the store, your kids are getting gift cards for Christmas. I do want you to know that this Robux is a very keystone part of this program. We will come back to this key word about 3 or 4 times tonight in different ways. But yes, for those who don't know, you turn your real USD to a fake currency on the game. The kids or anyone who plays the game can spend that currency on cosmetics, different clothing to wear, new hairstyles, things to do in the experiences. Keep that in mind for later. So, this is where we see that generational gap. Just in 2024, and I really like stats. I really do. So this is the newest one. I didn't have 25. There was 6.8 million new experiences to play. Those are games. Your kid and you alone do not have enough time in your life to play all of these. Just in the 1 year. We're not talking about what came out already this year, last year, all the way back to 2012 you can go back to. There's too many out there. Your kid has endless amounts of portals at any given time. Now this is the home screen of Roblox. When you log in, this is what it looks like. You have top trending, up and coming, top play now. It'll recommend games to your children. And we'll talk about that again later. This whole thing comes full circle. So when we ask parents, who plays this game? Who plays Roblox? What age? And the best age range we got in our cold call testing was between 8 and 12 years old. That is the number one answer of range I got for who's playing this game. Roblox is no longer allowed to advertise this platform as a kid's experience due to a lawsuit that we'll go over way later tonight. Not allowed. But the art of catfishing is the predator's best friend in this whole scene. Why does everyone assume 8 to 12 is little cartoon characters? And my son's a little cartoon character, and everyone's their age. These numbers don't appear above anybody. Roblox has a minimum age requirement, which is 5, which I see parents violate all the time. But there is no maximum age requirement. You guys remember the MTV show Catfish? They're like, how is this guy getting catfish? Just FaceTime that girl and find out that it's not her. That'll never be me. That same parent, 15 years ago saying that, is getting catfished today with this platform. They assume everyone's cartoons, all the games are cartoonish, all the thumbnails are cartoonish, it's all for kids. It's not. And we're going to go over that. So, what can you do as the parent? Well, you do have parental controls. You can go in and start limiting how your child can play. You can limit experiences, which we'll talk about this. You can disable direct messaging. That's huge. Restricting chat, blocking private servers. And you can actually view their playtime, how much they're playing, and what games are they playing on. You can do all that, which is fascinating. However, you as a parent have to make your own account. You cannot just boot up Roblox and attach yourself to your kid's account. Can't do it. You have to make your own account, your own username, your own little cartoon character. You got to design the thing. Then you got to link the accounts, not even in Roblox. You have to do that on a website outside the game hub platform. Oh, by the way, you got to send a photo of your ID. Oh, and you got to do a face scan. Do you know how many parents are not doing this? This is the quick solution for you to have that break. This took me 40 minutes. And I'm pretty savvy with IT. I figured out this projector pretty quick. And that took me 40 minutes to do all that. I had to go get my ID, go get my wallet, take a photo of it, wait for the server to come back, do my face scan, make it. That took forever. So that tells me if I didn't like doing it, the parent surely is not doing that. So if you want to set up parental controls, you got to do all that. You got to spend an hour messing with your computer. So do note that you can't just change your kid's settings. You got to do it on your own account. So the magical number, though, in the United States is 13. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Any sort of IT relation, 13 is this really magical number where they deem you to have more ability as a teenager in your online atmosphere. To me, 13 is still under adult. However, when you're under 13, you do have the highest chat filtering automatically. You're limited to communication. You cannot view restricted experiences. Once you hit 13, parents have sent me emails in the past 2 months, directly from the platform, saying, hey, your kid's about to be 13, you're going to lose X, Y, and Z for parental controls. They were like, well, what do I do? I said, there's nothing you can do. Once they hit 13 years of age, you will lose some restriction on parental controls. Yes, you can still have about 70% of it, but 30% of it is out the door as soon as that clock hits midnight. As soon as it happens. And when that happens, they automatically get more chat features. They can access more experiences. And the real kicker is that they can see and send and access links. That's the predator's best friend, is to send links. They love it. We'll talk about it. So what we do kind of showcase is, hey, if you're tired of buying gift cards from Roblox, make sure you have a PIN on your purchasing for your kid's account. Or next thing you know, your MasterCard's going to be flagged for $1,000 of Roblox money that you didn't verify, and they're not going to refund it to you. So you can really cap your wallet with a correct PIN. So what these are brand new from about 2 weeks ago. There is a picture of me on Twitter right now that is sitting at about 7.2 million views. And it's me pointing to a game. We had a media day last month. Just me right here going like this. Put it up on Twitter. 7.2 million views. Went crazy. Anything I post about Roblox goes crazy on Twitter. And it was a game, I'm still going to show that to you. But Roblox had, for parental controls and showcasing of experiences, it was by age. So it'd say, hey, you have to be 5 years old to play this. You should be 13 years old to play this. Hey, you need to be 18 to play this. As soon as that picture blew up, they changed the whole script. They took away you to pick how old your kid is per experience. And they went to this slider. And this might be tough to see for some people. But this is minimal, mild, and moderate. You'll see restricted down there is blacked out because you got to be 18. But from this point forward, let's say you did everything. You set up parental controls. You linked the kid's account. You get to pick minimal, mild, or moderate. What do I want my kid to access? You pick that. And then they can play those games under that experience level. But do know, they can still see all thumbnails. They can see games that they aren't allowed to play. They can request the parent to allow them to play it. And also, all those fun clothings and the avatars the kids run around with and the adults, the kid has full access and view to that. So if someone's wearing racist shirts, they're wearing sexualized imagery on their t-shirts, your kid has full access to see all that. There is no magical button to turn that all off. So do note that. So when we asked kids the last 2 years, what happens when you say a bad word in Roblox? Do you know what my number one answer was? Mr. Trooper, I don't say bad words on Roblox. I think kids are pretty smart. I said, so someone else did. What happened? They said a bunch of hashtags. Come on. Maybe I show my age, but that's the pound symbol. Right? But that's right. This is Roblox's claim to fame for security features. You try to send phone numbers, addresses, bad words. It blocks it out automatically. They cannot send it and people can't view it. Automatically gets whacked by filter. Why is that important? Well, the kid knows it, which means the predator knows it. We will soon go over where the predator wants your kids to go. Because they really can't talk too much in Roblox. They want them somewhere else. But this is what changed a couple weeks ago. I'll show you my famous picture here in a second. This is what you had as a parent as a slider just a couple weeks ago. You got to choose 5, 13, 17, 18 plus. You got to pick. But after a media day, it changed. And what you will see is that these pair pretty similar. 5 is minimal, 13 is mild, 17 moderate, 18 restricted. Sometimes that might vary a little bit. But for the most part, if you see anything with minimal, you should assume that that's what 5 plus used to be. So from this slide forward, we will assume you did everything right. You took a photo of your ID, you took a picture yourself, you made an account, you designed the character, you linked the kid's account, you verified all emails, you set up your experience per age or per range. You did everything you were supposed to do as a parent. Here's what your kid still has access to. This is the picture that blew up on Twitter. Okay, this is a game called Hug or Pass, where you got to line up and someone got to say, I want to hug you or not. This is a sexualized switch to a more popular game called Smash or Pass. Do I want to have sexual relations with you or not? Age requirement, 5 years old. Which means your 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old would get sexually rated of, do I want to have sex with you, from a 20, 30, 40-year-old person. Remember, you did everything right. And they still have access to that. Now this is one of 3 games I've gotten taken down. This game no longer exists. However, you go search this, the clones all exist. That's one little needle out of the haystack, I'm telling you that right now. But what's interesting is my internet buddy said, you took it down, your picture did it. This game was on top trending. Remember that big thing I showed you, it's like slide 4? Hey, when you log on, it's going to recommend things to your kids. This was there. This had 111 million users from September to March. Someone had to see it, other than me. There's no way. But it took a picture of me to get that taken down? Makes you think. Really makes you think. I have a whole file of these, by the way. We won't go too deep. This is called Baddies. This one's fun. You get to sell drugs or sell your body and be a prostitute. And you can go kill or stab or beat up the other drug dealers and prostitutes if you want, and other gangs or rivals. So, sex, drugs, killing, age requirement, 5 years old. Riz Tower, the younger term for charisma. Right? You would have to climb each floor of the tower trying to have sexual relations with everyone on each floor. Age requirement? You see the trend yet? 5+. Now this is where we get into the science of this. People go, the science? I said, yeah, I have a chemistry degree. I got to bring that in somehow, right? I just sit into my safe. How is there a science to this? The predator doesn't think we think like this. But we know their game. We've been studying it for years. Wedding reception, honeymoon, and venue. So I would print out like a bunch of these. And I'd bring parents in one at a time, and I said, you need to rate these on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being the most unsafe game your kid can play right now, and 10 being the most safe game out of the lot. You get to rate every one. I slide them through. This got rated very highly of safety from the parents. Very highly. But what you'll see is my favorite word that I associate with Roblox. It's roleplay. That is the Batman signal for predators. They light the beacon, and they know that's where we're going to go. You'll see that word everywhere in this platform. So really think about it. Well, you're going to have your wedding. You get to pick your dress. The girls like that. Or your tuxedo and your bridal party. You get to pick your flowers and your location. And then you get to have a reception. You get to pick your food and the music and the DJ and the dance floor. And then you get to have your honeymoon. Whatever is going through your head, 100%. Hotel rooms, bedrooms, full-blown animations, whatever you want. Accessible. 2 5-year-olds. Which means your 5, 6, 12-year-old is having a full wedding and honeymoon with a grown adult. But hey, you set up those controls correctly. Spin the bottle, that's pretty self-explanatory. 5+. Public bathroom simulator. This one gets a lot of heat online. This one finally got whacked a little bit by Roblox. You'll see the age requirement got bumped from 5 to 9. Okay. You get to pick whatever bathroom you want. There are no rules. You want to go in the guys or girls, whatever. And you get to do and see whatever's normally in a bathroom. Talk to people, interact with people. And this game does include, and most games do include, the voice chat option. Voice chat's kind of new. Been out for a couple years. You used to have to link your cell phone to that. But now you need the cell phone link, and you have to be at least 13. But when you go into these bathrooms, these people are saying the most outlandish things on voice chat that your kid can listen to all day long. Age requirement for that, like I said, did get bumped to 9, but most of the time it's 5, and there's clones of this. Tons of clones of public bathroom simulator. This is the most important one. 2-player hugs RP. Now, when we showed this to parents in that 2-year little testing window, this also got rated very highly. A thumbnail looks fine, it hugs, whatever. That seems safer than some of the other ones I showed. This is the biggest predatorial hub of any game I've showed you thus far. And why? What do you think RP stands for?
Role play.
Yeah. But I gave you guys the benefit of showing you the wedding game first. When I did my cold call testing, I didn't show those parents the wedding reception first. So when this came before the wedding game, I said, what do you think RP stands for? My number one answer, because I had to guess something, was Roblox points. Most parents have no idea that RP stands for role play. And we will go over 2 types of predators very soon. One of which is the role play predator. And they have full access and beacons of saying, hey, this is where we're going to go do this stuff at. You'll log on right now. I dare you. Log on. Make your own account. First 5 seconds, you'll find RP or role play anywhere on the home screen. You will. Boys and girls pool role play. This one's fun. You get to go in changing rooms, get into high-speed bathing suits or bikinis, and you get to role play as high school students. Age requirement, 5 years old. Then the last one I show is active shooter studios. They would recreate any active shooter in our country's history on a 1-to-1 scale. Your child gets to pick the loadout of their choosing. They want shotguns, ARs, pistols, you name it. They then get to go to any location they want. Buffalo, Sandy Hook, Columbine. Pick your location. And then, rain down fire. Now, these cartoon characters all pretty much look the same, but these game developers made smaller versions to make it look like kids. So your kid will be the active shooter, but not forever. You see there's a timer down here in the bottom left corner. That's time till police arrive. And then once that hit 0, the player was prompted, do they want to shoot back at police, or do they just want to kill themselves? And if you selected kill yourself, it was a full-blown animation, gun to the chin, blood and gore everywhere. Anyone want to guess the age requirement? So, before we get there, I do have to backtrack a little bit. Why? Why 5? Why is that the magic number? Why is everyone submitting games for 5-year-olds? Well, we got to sometimes twist our script. When I teach active shooter, we have to sometimes think like them. Sometimes when we showcase scams and skimmer devices, we got to think like the scammer. We call it putting on our dark cap. So let's just imagine we all got together tonight and said, we're going to make a game on Roblox. We're going to call it Fayette Hilton RP. Right? Why wouldn't we? We're going to make the game. We're going to make all the fun stuff you got to do in it. Then we're going to make our thumbnail and the description and the title. And then one last block. What will our age requirement be for our game? So what should we pick? Well, remember the Robux that you spend money on? If someone then spends Robux in our game, guess what we get? We get money back, which you can convert back into USD. People who make these games make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year. A year. So if we are in this for our ROI, we need a best return on investment. Why on earth are we picking anything but 5+? Why would we eliminate 70% of the market? We want as much money as we can. We don't care. We don't care about the kids. We want people spending money in our game. And we'll get through. They had 6.8 million new games that 1 year. They don't get enough time to verify all that, and it's proven true. These games just fly right in and are accessible to your children. So do note, if you don't set up parental controls, you don't set up that slider, they have full access to all that. So the Predator, if that wasn't already bad enough, we're not done. Okay, that was the easy stuff. The predator understands this platform better than you. They do. They're in it every day. They understand the restrictions from Roblox. The safety features, the chat filtering. They can't do everything they want. So they want your kid out of there. That's their main mission. Get the kid out. And where do they want them? In one of these three. Oh, Discord, Snapchat, or TikTok. Those are the main three hubs for these predators to take your children. That's where they want them to go. And why and how? Well, my kid, I told him he can only play Roblox. He's not allowed to go anywhere else. Okay, but then you said, no more Roblox. You're the bad guy now. And all my friends are playing this game, and I want the cool hat in the game. Oh man, your parents won't give you any more Robux? No, they won't. Well, why don't you just enter some of our codes and you'll get free items? Great, where are the codes? Funny you mention it. You have to join our exclusive Discord page to get these codes. This is almost every server. They will hide codes in their Discord channel. Whether they're predatory hubs or not, I don't get why. Hey, yeah, you got to enter that code on Discord, put it in, you'll get that free hat. That free hat to them, it means nothing. But to the kid, it means everything. And they're just clicking a couple buttons and they don't care until they really don't understand what they just did. They left the platform and went to a multiplier of 100. Why? And how do you get there? Well, you can just click on Discord logos. People can send you links to Discord. And some games, you just walk right up to a sign that says, hey, do you want free stuff? And then just takes you right there. Your kid can get sucked out in half a second. Sometimes Roblox does say you're leaving, but the kid doesn't care. And the parent isn't even watching. So how does this work? So this is this game called Blox Fruits. Now do note, this is not a predatory hub. This is just an example. This game probably had like 20 people in it. 20. Your kids want them. As soon as they wanted that free item or got sucked out of there, they have now joined this Discord channel, which has almost 2.2 million people in it. And at that exact moment, there was about 300,000 people online. They have no idea what they're getting sucked into. You have no idea your kid has now full access and range to 2.2 million people. And who knows what they're talking about with full video call and voice chat. People always ask me, what is Discord? Parents sometimes don't know. So Discord's a really unique platform where you can join almost any server you want. If you have a hobby, you like gardening, join the gardening Discord. I bet you there's hundreds of them. You can post pictures of your plants, ask for advice, the whole nine. You like sports, you can talk about sports. Every sports team has a Discord page. And what can you do on Discord? Well, you can just talk, just text all day long. Or you can join voice chat calls with up to 20 to 30 people. There could be 50 of those rolling at any given second. Or you can have a full-blown video chat. Your kid's likely already doing this on your iPad or iPhone or tablet or device. They're going to have full access to a camera. That's where the predator wants them to go. Why? Now they can talk, they have endless text with no filtering, and they get to video chat with your child. Why do they like Snapchat and TikTok? Same things apply. So who are the predators? Who's coming after your kids? We go over these two, but we can't really fast forward there. We've got to backtrack a little bit. Yeah, the most average of the line predator just wants your kid for sexualized images. That's really about it. Sexualized, image sharing, pornography photos, you name it. That's your average of the mill predator. A stranger-looking predator is the one who's obsessed with your child. We get that question a lot. Are they going to come take my kid? Statistically, the numbers really aren't there yet. But can it happen? Of course. There's a really interesting news story, if you really want your extra credit tonight, is that there was a guy a couple weeks ago who met two girls on Roblox, 13 and 15 years old. He was from Nebraska. He drove all the way to Florida to go pick them up. The Florida Sheriff's Office stopped him at the house. Really, really good news article if you want to look that one up. But then we just saw recently with Discord, here in PA. Guy met a girl in Allegheny County in Whitehall. He drove all the way from the northeastern side of PA to come get her, and did get her, and then told her exactly what to tell friends, parents, and police. They control your kid in unique ways. But other than those two, this is it tonight. Role-playing violent predator. We will talk about both of these in some fashion, which we start with the role-play predator. They have it easier than the violent predator. Why is it easier for them? Your child is already role-playing with them in all of these experiences that say RP. So if the kid starts to question things when they get taken out, oh, hey man, we're still just role-playing. Just go along with it. Okay, cool. It's not real. It's not real yet. It's going to get there. But they have it way easier than the violent predator because they have been doing it for weeks with your child already. So they will have that initial role play, slowly transition into a different reality, right? Getting sucked out of Roblox into a Discord or a Snapchat group, and then they're going to start doing real world actions. So very easy for them to do this rather than the violent predator. The violent predator has a couple different unique options. You will see it scaled, but do know these are quicker, more violent tendencies of the child rather than the role-play predator just kind of messing with their brain first. We'll go over the violent predator here a little bit more with the FBI. But it doesn't matter where you start. These predators want one thing and one thing only. They want your kid to commit harm against themselves or somebody else. And when that happens, these predators pleasure themselves from that happening. We'll go into their whole point-based system. But that's all they want, is for your kid to harm themselves or harm someone else. So missingkids.org does a report every year. And this just verifies our research. People go, well, wait a minute, Roblox is really low on this list for reports of exploitation. Correct. Because when the exploitation has gone that far, the predator has already sucked them out. So to catch that early, it doesn't really happen because they're still just trying to be the cool guy to your kid. Once they take them out, that's where the real exploitation starts. Sharing of images, the violent content, the role-playing stuff. This just proves our case that they are taking them out into a third-party application. So we told kids for 2 years, and we still do on a kids program, about online safety. If you're going to play that game, I know we already went over a lot with the experiences as is, but it's way safer for them just to stay in it. The moment someone wants them to go somewhere else, game over. It's game over. And why? Well, the FBI has a unit called the SOE. They like terms. Right? That's sadistic online exploitation. The predator's going to try to get a lot from your kid very quickly. Name, age, address. They're going to use IP grabbers. The predator's computers are pretty nifty. They got some tech on their end to verify where your child is and what they're doing, and why they want that is to start their blackmailing. But like I said, they're going to be the cool guy. Oh, your parents no longer giving you Robux? Here's 500. And then the child feels obligated to then send them photos, to send them pictures, to do whatever they want because, oh yeah, he did give me Robux, I'll send him a picture of my feed. Kids don't care, it's 500 Robux. You didn't give it to them anymore. So we really beg parents, whether you set up parental controls or not, one thing you can still always access is your child's wallet on this platform. Roblox does not give this away for free. If you know you gave your kid 1,000 Robux, I hate the term, it's so confusing. If you gave your kid 1,000 Robux, it shall never be higher than that. If you check your kid's accounts in a couple of days and it's down to 1,800, well, where'd you get 800 Robux? Because it wasn't for me. Someone could be gifting your kid this in-game currency. That is the biggest red flag we can showcase. Is if someone's gifting your kids this stuff, they're trying to get to them very quickly. So, once the predator gets the image of your child, they're going to start blackmailing them. So you got to do what I want. This is more of the violent predator now. Or I'm going to send this to your family, friends, the school district. And they're going to verify all that stuff with their computer. They're going to know. The kid's going to be scared to death. So yeah, I'll do whatever you say, Mr. Predator Man. They're not going to come to you. It's proven they're not going to come to the parents and ask for help. Never going to happen. So what happens from that point? Well, the violent predator has this unique kind of hierarchy system of points, which we'll talk about. But they'll start small. These calm groups, we don't go over them very much, especially now that I'm being recorded. They like to hear their names being told. So I'm not going to mention any of them tonight, at least on camera. When we cut it, we'll talk them. But they all have symbolic imagery. If they have their standalone symbols, and they make new ones every couple weeks, every couple months. So they'll tell your kid, hey, why don't you draw our symbol on a piece of paper or do it on the wall? If you really care about me and you don't want that image being shared, just show that you care. Okay, the kid's gonna draw that image. Then they say, you know, why don't you cut your thumb so you bleed a little bit? And then I want you to start smearing that blood across our symbol. The kids do it. And that leads all the way to the cut signs, where the images that they were drawing on the wall and on the paper, now they cut into their body. And they will do that on the chest, and back end, and sometimes the stomach region. Why? You as a parent aren't no longer checking those locations when they hit about 12 to 15 years old. They're not going to cut it on their arm. The predators aren't that stupid. They need to hide these cuts. And the kids, I'm like, there's no way they're doing it. The FBI showed me files and files and files of kids cutting logos onto their body. And I couldn't believe what I was watching and witnessing. Couldn't believe it. This happens every single day. The violent predator also has a really unique, they're addicted to animal cruelty. For years they've been addicted to it, they won't get off of it. They will tell your kid to start small, and hey, why don't you throw the cat across the room? And why don't you kick the dog in the stomach? Hey, why don't you go kill that cat? Too much evidence of me seeing that. So this is a big plus for the parent understanding this playbook. If your animal at the house just one day becomes deathly afraid of your child, that just doesn't magically happen overnight. So if you see your animal being afraid of anyone in your household, that could be because someone's telling the kid to harm your pets. Their end goal, though, is harm, right? Against others. But they really don't care about this one too much. They want it to be an option, but it's not their main goal. The main goal of this predator is for your kid to commit suicide. That's what they want. And why do they want it? This ladder system. This is nothing more but a game to them. In their groups, the only thing that's important is who's the top dog, and you have to gain hierarchy status. So how do you do it? You start small as the new guy. Right? I'm in the group. I gotta start going after some people. Great. You guys start getting in these kids' heads, and then once you do, and once they start drawing symbols on the wall and kicking a cat, you get some points. You start to gain some hierarchy status in this group. You get promoted. And the easiest way to get promoted, what is the most points, is your kid killing themselves. That's what they want. Because if they can get that to happen, guess where they sit? Top of the throne. And then they have all their new predators under them, and they feel like they're the king. Your kid does not matter to them. They just want them for points that are made up and don't matter. They want them to kill themselves. It's crazy. So these 4 states all filed last year in 2025. More states have now since filed. We have West Virginia, Nevada, Indiana just filed. A bunch of states already this year. All right. Well, I work with these 4 states, so we showcase. Now these are like 100 pages, so we had to really break it down to one slide, right? But Louisiana went first out of any state. And they said, you know, you failed to protect children. You had an easy distribution of sexual abuse material of children. People go, wait a minute, how do you share child pornography on Roblox? I'll show you. And you allowed it to be marketed as kid-friendly. That's why you will no longer see on any page or any advertisement this is a kid's platform anymore. You won't see it. Kentucky went second. Actually laying out for, quote, it's a playground for predators. Came straight from the AG. And they had this big push on, the parents didn't know anything. And why did they kind of push that way? Well, this is the Boone County Sheriff's Department. This is a great group of guys that I worked on a case with. And they had a personal case. December 2nd, 13-year-old Audrey takes her own life in 2024 because she's 13 years old. Why? This is the only time we mention a con group on paper. She joined the TCC, which is a con group, a true crime community. She joined them via Discord and TikTok, but they were able to backtrack everything. She met these predators all starting in Roblox. Once she got taken out, they started to role play, especially on TikTok. They had 30, 40 different TikTok accounts shared. And each TikTok account was a different active shooter in our country's history. They would log in every day and role play as an active shooter family. Every day. And chats that the sheriffs were able to share with me showed self-harm, suicide attempts, and one predator told her to shoot up her school and gave her step-by-step instructions on how to make a pipe bomb. Audrey took her own life in December of 2024. 13-year-old. How'd she do it? She hung herself in a closet. All on a video call with her predators. And why the video call? They need proof. They don't care about Audrey. They need the points. They need the video to promote themselves. So Audrey was nothing more to them than points. That's who's coming after your child. Texas, third. Okay, marketing is kid-friendly, almost the same as Louisiana. And then Florida went last in 2025. Hit them the hardest of any four. Said, hey, you have no age controls. This is like the Wild West. Anyone can just do whatever they want here. Roblox has responded to each of these lawsuits in different security fashions. So they had to respond to this very quickly. They did. They came out with the safety gold standard. If you have kids in the past 5 months that play Roblox, they have maybe asked you to do this, or they just did it on their own. Because if you didn't set up parental controls, they can just go do it. Which means if you want to chat with anybody, you have to do a face scan. Almost like how you need to do one for parental controls. It's a forward shot and side. It gets sent to Roblox on their AI server. The AI system scans that image, and it says, this is how old you are. They group you down here below, 5 to 8, 9, 12, 13, 15, all the way to 18 plus. Once you get grouped in one of these, that is the only people you are allowed to chat with. So if your child does the scan, gets grouped between 13 and 15, they can only talk to people in the 13 to 15 group. Everyone else either doesn't show up or it's a bunch of those hashtags. They can't see anything else. Problem fixed, right? You know where we're going. So I talked to a lot of online partners. They said, hey boss, we're really worried because this started testing in November of last year. Came out fully January of this year. They said, hey, we think these predators are just going to use their own AI, or they're going to use some sort of 3D image just to say that I look like a kid. And you only got to do this once. It's not like your phone where you got to continuously do a face scan to unlock it. You do this one time and you get grouped. Roblox has since said, if we see a violation, we can request another scan. Take that for what you want. And my buddy said, do you think people are going to sell these? I said, there's no way people are going to sell kids' accounts publicly. First Saturday, January, this went live, I went right to eBay. Pages and pages and pages and pages of Roblox kids' accounts for sale. This guy right here is selling a kid's account from 9 to 12, and he's asking $4.50. Or best offer. Maybe we shoot him for it. And if you bought that, he would email you the username and password. Now you as the predator have the ultimate catfish. Why? You as a parent have assumed, I had my kid, I set up parental controls. I made my kid do a face scan. Now he's only allowed to talk to 9 to 12-year-olds. Now this 25-year-old male who bought this account is now fully masked as a 9 to 12-year-old. And you are believing that for face value, and so is your kid. And when they get taken into Discord chats, sometimes parents say, well, aren't they going to know that they're older? They use AI to sound younger. They'll do that for weeks and say, hey, why don't you meet our buddy? He's in charge of our Discord group. And he just turns off that AI filter. So you cannot take for granted that this face scan works, because people just sell these accounts. Now eBay has since taken all of these down, but I'll have to proof them up. But if they had the courage to post this on a public forum like eBay, who knows what they're doing on Reddit and dark web forums, you have no idea. So this face scan, you can't take it for face value. Okay, true. You're right. I'm going to do my parental controls. I'm going to opt out of my kid doing the face scan. Now he can't talk to anybody, right? Problem solved. Okay, there's nonverbal communication workarounds. This game is new. We just found this. This is C-Box Roleplay OG ARAB Original. Okay, remember, maturity level, minimal. We know that that equals technically a 5-year-old. We tested this. We went in there with a kid's account who did not do a face scan, which means they should not be allowed to talk with anybody. They had full chatting features in this platform. Full chatting features. Your kids are smart. They're going to find a workaround. This took one search on the experience screen of, I didn't do a face scan, can I chat? And then this game popped up. They're going to find it. So don't take for granted, I'm going to opt out, and then now they can't talk, because they still will. This is the second game that got taken down in a couple weeks. This was talk with signs. So you would walk around, this is a player who didn't do a face scan, and it's 12 years old. Shouldn't be able to talk with anybody. You can walk around and type whatever you want and put them on these signs. I don't know if you remember that Louisiana lawsuit with the child pornography. These signs were a big problem for years. People can put whatever they want on any sort of signage in a game. Porn videos, people getting killed, child pornography, nude images. They just run around with these signs. Your kid's seeing it. Or this one, Life Together RP. This one's really unique because it has a built-in cell phone that you can pull up, and it's almost like Snapchat. You can send pictures to yourself, you can call people, and you can text people. What we saw is that you can chat out of your age range here. So you pull up your phone, let's say you were honestly a 13-year-old who did the face scan. You should only be able to talk to 13, 14, 15. You pull up that phone, you select anyone on the list, talk all day long. So not only can they get around not doing the face scan, they can get around just not talking and doing it with signs, or they can do a workaround for group-to-group communication. There's always a way. You see my favorite letters, RP. This is one of the last things we show for our program. The predators sometimes like to mask themselves even further just with an experience. When I showed this to parents, this got rated very highly in safety. This is the biggest predatorial hub that my partners have seen in years. There's nothing to do in this game other than go in and talk. And people, we did a Teams call. First 5 seconds that we hopped in here, people talking about comm groups, cut signs, blood signs, suicide. Couldn't believe it. Now, we got this game taken down twice. It's back up again. So it has been taken down, back up about 4 or 5 times. Which tells me Roblox is taking this down. But then they are also allowing it to go right back up. And do keep in mind the dollhouse component, that's the predatorial symbol. So if you see your kid playing anything related to dollhouse, because there's clones. Every game I showed you, there's probably 100 different versions of it. If your kid's playing anything that says dollhouse on it, that's a predatorial hub, more than likely. So how do they find it? These games are really small, the predatorial ones. That's just a hub for them. It doesn't have 111 million players like Hug or Pass. These might have 40 people in it. How does my kid find that? Well, a really great predator tactic is when you join any experience, people are going to send you friend requests. You might not even be around anybody, but they're going to send you a friend request. And these kids sometimes go to games because they don't got friends at school. They are questioning their sexuality or religion, whatever it is. They need a way out. They need a way to relax. They need friends. They don't have any. Oh, this guy friended me? Sure, I'll add that back. Remember that home screen we showed you at the very beginning? The very top, it shows you your friends list. It shows you what they're playing. So if you saw, hey, 4 of my friends are playing Dollhouse Hangout, never seen that, you can just hit join. And they get sucked right in to a predatorial hotspot and they have no idea. And parents who said, well, I viewed how long they're playing for and what they're playing, it looked fine. Yeah, you as a parent would have to go in and see how the game works. You're not doing it. But we want to showcase that to you because you wouldn't know otherwise. So with that, that's really our program. We went over a lot. We went over what is Roblox, your parental controls, the in-game experiences your child can still access when you do everything right, where the predator wants to take your kid, how the predator acts, and some of the more safety signs you now know. This is the program you just sat through. I think we had good attendance. I'm a little greedy. I always want more. But my number one question is, well, what's next? This is it. This is the end of my line. There's nothing else I can do than this program. I am one gear and a watch. But I'm spinning. I'm spinning as fast as I can. I've had great talks with different states, different AGs, our state. I don't know. I don't have that answer for you. But you can be a stronger voice than I can. Why don't you reach out to, go on Facebook. Say, I just sat through this. You wouldn't believe what I saw. Reach out to your representative. Call Harrisburg. Don't say that, Cameron. Right? I didn't tell you that, right? But there's nothing else I can do. You are the next step. I can't do anything else than to offer what I know. Because I've been the weird guy. I told you for 2 years. No one believed any of this. But people are listening now. I do want to tell you that this is the only program of its kind. This does not exist in any other state that I've talked to who has filed legal action. They don't have a public program. They don't. This is the only way we're going to get it, and we're the first ones, and we're the only ones that have it. I'm really proud of the program. Hopefully you guys have learned something. This is my email. Do not email me saying you got a speeding ticket. That's not how it works. Also, do not email me in 3 weeks that your kid did something on Roblox, I need help. Because I can't offer you advice or personal information. What I can offer you is the information we have, and then you should go home tonight and make the appropriate decision. Whether that's more or less screen time, deletion of the game, that's your call, not mine. With that, I'll be up here for any questions, comments, or concerns. I do want to thank the Hilton again for hosting, and you guys have a great night.
Oh.